guys, it's your boy the Kryptonian Satan here, bringing you a review for One Piece chapter 222. And this chapter, I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a 4 out of 5. It was almost a 5 out of 5. I have a feeling that the next chapter is gonna be a 5 out of 5, simply for the fact that Luffy's gonna encounter someone on this island, the Jaya island. So, oh shit, so you have all of these pirates on this island. Like, literally, it's almost like having an island full of Luffy's, man. Oh crap, I cannot wait to see where Oda takes this. And oh man, this is gonna be good, man. This is gonna be good. And the crazy thing about all of this is I had a feeling something serious was coming, simply for the fact that the last two chapters I was just laughing too much while I was reading them. Like, I was enjoying them way too much. And what I've noticed about Oda is a lot of the times he rope-a-dopes you. He gets you with these feel-good chapters. You're laughing, everything's all fine and dandy, and then boom, he hits you with the serious stuff. And that's what happens on this chapter, man. Like, right at the end, that's when it gets real. But I have to say this chapter, about 90% of it was following the trend that the last two chapters followed, which was slice of life, very funny. You're laughing, you're smiling as you're progressing through it. However, I do have to say this. See, scenes like this are why I like Nami, okay? Because it's not because, oh, she's, a thief, she's cunning, she's very intelligent, not stuff like that. But rather, she's always looking at the bigger picture, and because she's a navigator, she takes her duty very seriously. And the thing about it is Luffy and the others, they lay out everything they have, okay? And Nami's like, I thought you had treasure. And right there, she gets off track in that sense where she needed them to gather information. However, once she finds out treasure, it's like she locks in. She locks in and she's like, oh shoot, I got more to add to my booty. That's what she's thinking. And then once she looks at everything and she sees these dishes, she sees a freaking octopus. Luffy brought the octopus because it's meat. And then she sees a rusted out sword. She's just like, are you kidding me? And at one point, she actually steps on everything. And Sanji and Zoro, they just have this look on their face like, I cannot believe she's doing this. We risk everything to get this stuff. But she makes a very good point. She tells them, look, you don't understand. I sent you down there for information. If we don't have information, we walk into a situation blind. If we walk into a situation blind, what happened to that ship could happen to us. You don't want that to happen. I need a log. I need a map. I need something that can tell us what we're getting into so we can plan accordingly. And in a way, Nami took the leadership position on that. And what I love about this crew is, in their own rights, they're all leaders. They could all have their own crew. They could all be leaders of their own crew. Chopper to be determined, because I think Chopper, for him, he doesn't know how to deal with affection, and he's very socially awkward. So seeing that Chopper might be, just the medic on staff or anything, but that with him, his character is going to grow. You can see that. Maybe after a few years pass, you could definitely see like, oh, Chopper's grown. So that's something to keep your eye on. But I like this. I like how Nami, for the most part, takes the lead for a lot of this chapter, and it feels very in character for her to take that approach. And one other thing you have to look at is they did think they were helping. They did think they were contributing, and where the fault on Nami is she's got to be better about not being quick to let her temper out. In a lot of shonens, one of the things that they do is when you have the female lead character, in this case she's one of the female leads because now you have Nico Robin on the crew, but for all intents and purposes, she's the main female lead of this series. And in most cases, the way that they display their affection or their concern, disappointment, which is a form of concern in a way because they expect more of you, is they have a quick temper. And with Nami, she has to work on that. She has to recognize, hey, they have good intentions. They didn't do quite what I wanted them to do, so maybe I can help build them up to get them where I need them to be. So that's kind of what I would like to see her work on going forward. But if she stays where she's at in terms of that personality trait, I have no problem with it. So with that being said, I do want to get to Nico Robin. Now, the thing about Robin that I found very interesting is I was wondering, I was reading once about 2 chapters ago, and I was going, where the hell's Robin at? You know, she made the observation at first, and then it was just Nami, Usopp, and Chopper. Apparently, while all of this was going on, she snuck onto Masira's ship, and she stole their log. And on there, you see Jaya. Okay, so that's written on there, and that's how they get the huge idea to even go to Jaya in the first place. And the crazy thing about that is I want to know how she got there, because I don't recall the ships being that close. Because if they were that close, then Masira should have been able to hear that they were talking about him. But I do want to say this, though. The fact that she got it just shows that she's a resourceful character. And it goes back to what I said in the other review. When Nico Robin shows up, she's like Itachi. The plot moves forward. Like, this was beautiful. This scene really reminds me of that, really, when Itachi showed up in Naruto Shippuden, okay? Like, right before he met Sasuke for their final battle. One of the things that we saw was, you know, he approaches Sasuke, and Sasuke approaches Naruto, and he tells Naruto, yo, what would you do if Sasuke never returned to the village? And he gives Naruto his Mangekyo Sharingan, or rather gives him Shisui Uchiha's Mangekyo through the crow. But we don't know it, but it comes back into play later on, about 200 chapters later. And what I liked about that and how I liken it to this is with Nico Robin. I almost called her Miss All Sunday, but with Nico Robin, what we see is she planned that out, and even now she's thinking ahead. And because Nami's just saying, if we go one place, that has to be our destination, because the log will reset itself, and when that happens, we're screwed. And Robin has already been thinking ahead. She says, well, if we can get in and get out, we can get away before the magnetic field takes hold. And so that means that while they're on Jaya, that means that they have a short time period. So now we have a ticking clock. I would like to see some type of clarification on how long it takes for a log to reset. I might have missed that. If I missed that, kind of clarify it for me. But the thing about this is, you know, Luffy's all excited about going to Jaya, you know, once you have a little back and forth with Nami and the decisions and indecisions. And at one point, Nami has to tell him, like, look, you're the captain, you need to choose this. And that goes back to what I said before. They're all leaders, but for Luffy, part of his growth and part of how he's going to get better as a leader, I've seen him in the past make a decision and stick to it, but at the same time, he can't go back and forth like he did in this chapter. This is where he's also got some room for growth. So with that being said, Luffy goes because he thinks that there's going to be meat there. And sure enough, you have this mysterious character who really reminds me of Sniper Wolf from Metal Gear Solid, who basically shoots down the seagulls and they can't tell where he's shooting from. And it reminds me of that Metal Gear scene where in the very first PlayStation game where you're sneaking around with Meryl, right? And what ends up happening is they get in this narrow corridor and Sniper Wolf guns down Meryl right there, and it leaves Snake in a precarious position. And it's kind of the same thing there. Like, you didn't know where Sniper Wolf was, and in this case, you don't know where the sniper is that took out those seagulls, but Luffy's just like, Sanji, seagulls, get your ass over here. We need to start cooking. Like, I like that. I like that about Luffy. It's like, oh, we could maybe get shot, but I'm going to get shot with a full belly. So I like that. But what I really enjoyed about what we saw on that island is that these guys are all over the place. One of the dudes, he's pulling out a sword. He's, you know, trying to intimidate the other guy for cheating. You have people drinking. There's fights going on. And you look at the bounties, and it's just like these dudes are in the 50s. And it's like Luffy at this point is at 100 million. And I don't know, it might be a case where like Crocodile, where the bounties aren't as high as they should be. But the thing is just going by the bounties. If bounties are like power levels, then Luffy should be able to one-shot these dudes. So I'm really interested to see what this is going to do. But my chapter question for you guys is, what did you think about the resourcefulness of Nico Robin? And the reason why I asked that is, if she wasn't there, I feel like they'd have been screwed. So with that being said, once again, this is a pretty good chapter. If you like anything I had to say, hit that like button, comment, rate, subscribe, share. I'll greatly appreciate it. That's it. Thanks for watching Cartoonius.